Now High Heaven sect is also regarded as a sect. Everyone is elders and disciples. Seeing the sect master, the etiquette is naturally indispensable. Even Yixian, the most powerful master, also nodded lightly at Yang Kai. But soon she shifted her gaze and continued to stare at Yang Yan's movements, her beautiful eyes flashing with fanaticism. This woman really regarded Yang Yan as an idol, and Yang Kai quietly curled his lips. It's not to blame. The name of Starry Sky Great Emperor is too terrifying. Yang Kai can get along with Yang Yan calmly, because they're too familiar with each other. What is this? Yang Kai stared at the sky and asked incomprehensibly. Back to Sect Master, Vice Sect Master Yang Yan opening the restrictions on the flowing flame sand field to let the sect see the sun and the moon again. Ning Xianxia hurriedly replied. His tone was full of respect, and his old eyes were full of brilliance. Can't hide the admiration of Yang Yan. Under the heaven, who can open the restrictions on flowing flame sand field? Yang Yan was the only one. No wonder Ning Xianxia has a look of reverent. Hearing what he said, Jiang Kai nodded lightly and understood Yang Yan's plan in his heart, so he didn't ask any more questions. Today, although everyone has migrated to the Supreme Profound Sect side and changed this place to the High Heaven sect, but the three-flame ring of fire has been shrouded here. The fiery red barrier has blocked the sky, making it impossible to see the sun, moon and stars here. Living in this environment for a long time will give a somewhat depressed feeling. Therefore, Yang Yan was planning to open the flame barrier that covered the sky, so that the current High Heaven sect could reconnect with the outside world. This is a good thing, and only Yang Yan can do it. Yang Kai naturally didn't have the idea of expressing an opinion. At the moment, he stopped quietly while waiting and watching in place with everyone. A stream of pure saint chi gushes out of Yang Yan's body, turns into a flowing light and shoots towards a certain place in the air, and disappears in an instant. But as time went by, a vortex faintly appeared in the fiery red sky. The vortex was small at first, but gradually became larger in scale. The swirling vortex looked shocking and chilling, and it seems to engulf the entire sky. About half an hour passed. Accompanied by Yang Yan's soft sigh, the red ring on her wrist buzzed, flying into the sky, and stretched in the wind. It is directly transformed into a huge ring with a radius of about a dozen miles. This ring slowly rises into the sky. Finally it touched the flame barrier that covered the sky. Immediately fixed in a certain place, motionless, just wrapping the huge vortex in it. Immediately after, the vortex shrank sharply, and the unparalleled pulling force spread from there. With a crisp sound, the flame barrier covering the sky above the High Heaven sect burst like a bubble, revealing the same size as the circle, with a radius of 10 miles away of the sky. A burst of cheers rang out, and the disciples jumped with joy. Yang Kai also grinned, showing joy, but soon his eyes were attracted to something in the sky. His expression was stunned. Sure enough, Yang Yan also murmured softly, her beautiful eyes staring at a certain place in the sky. Eyebrows wrinkled slightly, and then she moved her hand, and the first ring of the three flame rings flew down again, and set into her wrist. However, the flame barrier did not close again. Instead, it kept a gap of about a dozen miles away, allowing sunlight to pour down from there, allowing people to see the blue sky and white clouds outside. But at this moment, in addition to the long-lost blue sky and white clouds, there is one thing that is most noticeable. A huge and magnificent palace. Emperor Garden. Why is this thing here? Isn't it on Dragon Cave Mountain? When did it move to this place? A loud yelling sounded, and dozens of disciples were full of worry. Some of them were like bitten by snakes and feared it for tens of years. The last time Dragon Cave Mountain suffered a catastrophe, in the final analysis, it was also because of the birth of Emperor Garden that Dragon Cave Mountain became the center of the vortex of struggle. Originally everyone left Dragon Cave Mountain and looked for a place to stay, and it was 1,000 times better than the previous Dragon Cave Mountain. The previous haze and worries have been swept away, but they never thought that this good day has not passed for a few days. Then the Emperor Garden appeared directly above them again. This makes them feel somewhat unacceptable. Emperor Garden, one of the 3 forbidden areas of the Shadowed Star, is sticking to them like a glue. What's more, Dragon Cave Mountain is a full 2 months away from here, and no one knows when the Emperor Garden came to the sky above the High Heaven sect. After all, the High Heaven sect had been shrouded by the 3 flame rings before, and there was no way to see the outside world. Only Yongkai and Yang Yan knew the reason. Xian might have some guesses, but she was not sure. Yang Yan fluttered down from the sky, standing beside Yongkai. Her expression was indifferent, no happiness or anger could be seen. Glancing at her, Yongkai asked softly, "Did you know about this since a long time ago? That's why you broke the barrier." "Well, I have some feelings, but I'm not sure. But no matter whether there is such a thing or not, the barrier of the sky will always be open. This time it's just the right time." Yang Yan nodded lightly. Yang Kai understood, and he pondered for a moment, before turning his head and screaming at the disciples, "What is the noise? Since Emperor Garden is here, there must be a reason for it. There is nothing to fuss about. What could we do?" Yang Kai said this, and made the commotion of the crowd calm down, and simultaneously responded with a yes, respectfully retreating. After the disciples of low strength left, Yongkai said thoughtfully, "Emperor Garden doesn't know when it moved, but since it appears here, I think outside of Flowing Flame Sandfield at this moment be very lively." This time, Emperor Garden made a big joke to the entire Shadowed Star. When it was born, it was suspended directly above Dragon Cave Mountain, causing countless forces on the Shadowed Star to gather in Heavenly Fate City. But no one thought that it would move. Now that it appears above the High Heaven sect, the strong ones on the Shadowed Star must have also chased it. There is no doubt that the Emperor Jade has appeared, and it is not far from the day when the Emperor Garden is opened. No one wants to miss the opportunity. "Do you want to go out and have a look?" Yang Yan asked. Yang Kai nodded, knowing that the doorway of the house must be very lively now. Of course Yang Kai would not sit back and watch. "I'll be with you," Yang Yan said in an uneasy manner. Yang Kai glanced at her, did not decline, nodded and said, "It's okay." After a brief discussion, Yang Yan immediately sacrificed the flying shark battle shuttle, and the 2 of them got in. Xian would not leave Yang Yan's side and naturally would not fall behind. The place where High Heaven sect was located was originally on the 4th layer of Flowing Flame Sandfield, but now the 1st layer of Blazing Area has disappeared, and the only thing blocking the front of High Heaven sect is the 3rd layer of Blazing Area. Soon, the Flying Shark battle shuttle passed through the 4th floor and stepped into the 3rd floor Blazing Area, but with Yang Yan here, the blazing heat does not threaten the 3 people at all. As if they have spiritually, the blazing heat separate to the sides to make a passage for them. After a long time, the Flying Shark battle shuttle shook slightly and appeared outside the flame barrier. The hatch opened, and Yang Kai strode out. Just as he stood firm, he couldn't help but raised his brows and swept around with a smile. At this moment, a large number of cultivators gathered outside Flowing Flame Sandfield, either in groups of 3 or 5, or neatly arranged, all of them looking worriedly at Flowing Flame Sandfield. Almost all the people Yang Kai knew, didn't know, or had some enmity were all here. Covering the entire Shadowed Star, large or small, hundred of forces. It can be said that the cultivators who originally stayed in Heavenly Fate City all came here with the Emperor Garden. When Flying Shark battle shuttle broke out of Flowing Flame Sandfield and Yang Kai appeared, he immediately attracted all eyes and attention, 1 or 2 people dumbfounded, with an incredible expression on their face. Since Flowing Flame Sandfield is known as a forbidden land, it is naturally extremely dangerous. In the time it was not opened, no one could break into it. There was a void return stage who relied on high strength and wanted to break into the Flowing Flame Sandfield, but when he just stepped into the 1st layer of hot blazing area, he was completely melted. The closed Flowing Flame Sandfield is not something that humans can resist at all. Only during the period of time when it is opened, the cultivators below the void return stage can use their own strength to enter it. But now, Yang Kai walked out safely from the inside. Doesn't this mean that he had been staying inside for a while? How can that be? Many strong people almost thought that they were dazzled, and in disbelief, they also showed jealousy and envy. Although they don't know what method Yonkai used to get in and out of flowing flame sand field freely, this method is obviously extraordinary. And there are so many benefits in this forbidden area. Yonkai can get in and out. Doesn't it mean that all the good things inside are dominated by him alone? Those strong men who had been feuded with Yonkai were all sinking their face, almost vomiting blood in depression. Now that Yonkai is still young, he is so difficult to deal with. If they really allows him to occupy the resources in the flowing flame sand field for a long time, when he fully grows up, who in the shadowed star can be his opponent? At this point, many strong men eyes met with murderous intention in their hearts. However, not everyone has murderous intent towards Yonkai. The great elder of Shadow Moon Palace, Qiantong, and Heavenly Fate City Lord Fei Jitu looked over with surprise and joy. After hesitating for a long time, Qiantong shouted, "Yonkai, the outside world rumors that you are staying here is true? The last time, when the people of Dragon Cave Mountain first came here, they expelled a group of cultivators, and Yonkai even turned the area around Flowing Flame Sand Field into a forbidden area. This news naturally spread fast. The powerhouses on Shadowed Star have heard of it, but no one takes it seriously. No one thinks that Yonkai in a mere Dragon Cave Mountain can settle and stay at Flowing Flame Sand Field. Only feels that the kid is being arrogant. Even after Qiantong and Fei Jitu listened to it, they laughed, thinking that Yonkai was just venting the anger for the destruction of Dragon Cave Mountain. But at this moment, everyone didn't dare to think so. Yonkai clearly came out of Flowing Flame Sand Field on the weird small battleship. Seeing is believing, and no one can question anything. To be continued.